Welcome to part 22 of Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. You see this monstrosity over here? This was one of the added enemies
Come at me.
that is on MS Mountain, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are on MS Mountain. Of course, because we had to deal with the horse bird that only had one horse bird. But we're gonna deal with MS Mountain's added enemies, and I said we were gonna deal with them like last part. We are going to proceed with the story though. However, we just needed to take care of some unfinished business here. And again, I will make a dedicated part so that I could show off all of the pieces to the enemies. Did I just switch out? Yes, I switched out. Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. Well, what I was trying to do was go HDD, but I switched out instead. That was a stupid thing on my part. But that's okay. We still have Vert, who lowers the speed of enemies. Although, the, I would say the frame rate is dropping completely, and yeah, I just started, sorry about that. I might as well just give that to Pishi. Or just transform first, then give her a defensive boost. But still, I can't believe I buffed Plutia and then switched. I didn't mean to do that, folks. It was an accident. It happened. And that's like the second time I did that. Hold on. I'll just up my strength. Or at least up Vert's defenses. One of the two. So let's see if I can up Pishi's strength right about now. Or I could just not do that and instead up the agility of everybody on the team. Oh, think about this obese Dagu. He heals every turn.
No attacking while I'm transforming.
So we might as well try to make sure we have enough turns to do some serious damage to him. And I also want to try to get at least a level 4 on the EXE gauge so we'll be able to pull off EXE moves. Thank God for Combo Link, by the way. And just think, all of these enemies that we're dealing with, we're going to be getting a lot of experience points because we're at the level to take them down. And they barely do some damage to us. I mean, they hurt Vert. Yeah, she took about 2,000 so far from that monstrosity. And Pishi only took like about 850. Again, she has the worst defense in the game. But Vert's at a lower level than Pishi. That's the thing. Vert's like only at level 78, and Pishi's at 82. And yeah, Pishi is still taking damage. So there's that. I'll just keep Vert trying to get rid of as much of the guard meter as possible, but that's impossible because again, he's healing 13,000 per turn. At that point, it can be rather frustrating. But bear in mind one thing, just having enough EXE to do an EXE move will actually do some serious damage. And all I managed to do is chop only a couple of... I just basically reversed all of his healing. That's all I did.
Prepare yourself.
So we'll just keep chopping away at his armor until he drops his guard.
Darjeeling rest. Who wants to take me on?
Now that his guard's dropped, for the time being he's on guard break status, let's take him down. I should have used the other one. Why didn't I use the other one? Or I could just use 32-bit Mega Blade, whichever one comes first.
Mega Blade.
But yeah, this Dogu is kind of a problem. Well, not anymore.
This is the power of a
And we got Prime Cut Dogu just for beating it.
I leveled up.
And Uzume went up another level. I may have to switch around Uzume stuff, but we're not done here just yet. There's that thing right there. We'll have to take it down. Might as well.
I have to be serious sometimes too, you know.
And it looks really, really big. Another palette swap though, but hey, this time around, I'll make sure that I don't accidentally switch to Pishi. That would be dumb. And I'm gonna have to use a strength booster because I think I just used all of my strength booster Z or something like that. Yeah, because Neptune's buffs only buffs like herself and one other party. Well, actually, it only buffs one person and just one person. It doesn't just buff the whole party like Vertz does. Vertz only gives everybody a speed boost. Neptune, not so much. She only gives, well, she does give one person a speed boost and a defense boost, but that's it.
I've taken a liking to you, so I'll show you my...
Same thing for Plutia. Meanwhile, Plutia can just drop a whole bunch of bad stats on this enemy and call it a day. Which, quite frankly, is the best option. Because it looks like one of those bosses with very high defenses. And having EXE always helps. If you're going to pursue these bosses, that's the first thing you should do. Make sure you have EXE and also enough SP to help you out. Although, get used to the EXE bar because it won't come back until Rebirth 3. That's all I have to say on that, because Mark II completely does away with it.
I will have you perish here.
Nonetheless, 2 EXE moves completely just got rid of this monstrosity's health.
May your spirit be cleansed from existence.
Now, let's see what we got from this boss here.
It seems you were a few steps
Nothing.
short of me.
Wow, we got chipped. But 102,000 experience points? That's pretty good. Oh wait, no, Pishi's at level 86. Oh shit. And she still took damage? Wow, she really does have terrible defense. And Uzume went up 2 levels. Go figure. So, we're done here in MS Mountain. On to Dongkong Ruins. Speaking of which, I haven't actually showed you what you need to do to unlock Dongkong Ruins. Look on the screen. You need 3 blue pipes, 3 magic jellies, 3 jet black scales, and 3 ice skeletons. 3 out of 4 of those items I just mentioned will be found in Duty Space. The other one, the ice skeletons, will be found over in Louise Snowfield. Which is why I was there, and I didn't actually bother to unlock that until I got some ice skeletons. Meanwhile,
Finally my turn.
we just ran into hyenas and skeletons. That's pretty much all that's here in the stage. And yeah, by the way, I just got finished grinding some enemies, and for the record, the partisan is here too. That is another weapon for Vert.
Finally.
But I was practically beating up enemies just to gain some EXE meter, because there is an enemy here we need to face. Thing is, it's not like a risky foe or anything, it's just a regular foe. We're gonna have to unlock the add enemy plans later on.
Gonna hit ya.
So, throughout the entirety of this part, we went through 2 enemies from a different stage. We're going through the entirety of Dongkong Ruins, which really isn't that much.
Easy.
And also, we're just going to go through the rest of the story. After all, well, not the rest of the story, we're just going to go through most of Chapter 4. Because believe it or not, despite all the grinding you're going to have to do, especially for near the end of Chapter 4,
How is this?
it's really a short chapter.
There.
Sorry for that voice break there, but it is an absolute short chapter.
That was easy.
And, of course, he's going to attack Plutia.
Now,
Why
what
wouldn't
shall
he?
I do?
Yeah, let's get
I
rid of
won't
this
go
guy.
easy. There.
And a few more blows, and that'll take care of that.
No one can surpass my beauty.
And, of course, items are pretty much RNG here. Well, the enemy drops anyway. That's because I didn't find a plan for that. Surprise, surprise!
This should
Don
be
Kong
good.
Ruins actually has that plan. Also the hitting badge. I think the hitting badge
I
is an
wonder if
equipment.
it's a rare item.
And so is the black cat ears.
Let's have fun.
I'm pretty sure that is the Louis High Guard. I'm not sure what the Louis High Guard drops,
That was easy.
but
Wait, a little bit more.
if she does drop something, I'm pretty sure it is something valuable. I don't remember. I'll have to go back into my notes. And besides, we can't really know for sure what she drops is because of the fact that we haven't gotten the plan for enemies to drop more stuff yet. The Louis High Guard was actually blocking that. And the reason why I kept constantly attacking enemies is because of the fact
Maybe I'll go a bit harder
that
here.
the
I
enemies
suggest not
are giving me...
underestimating the
Oh wait, it
power.
was an iron fragment, I suppose. But as I was saying, the enemies were actually giving me some stuff. And by the way, I just picked up the item drop plus... Or should I say... No, it was the item drop,
This should be good.
okay, the item drop rate plan. That's what it was. Yes. The item drop rate increase. And what I do have the actual parts for that plan. Right now we're just taking on rock because it happens to be right here. And we've pretty much beaten everything in this stage. Sorry about that repetitiveness. I was trying to get the words out, and I can't. This is what happens when I try to do commentaries when I'm half asleep. I keep making idiotic errors everywhere. But you know what? I have to do things just so I won't stay bored. I'm not bored of this game, no. When I come home from work, I'm normally bored and tired. And it's normally in the daytime and I don't feel like sleeping. But
Enemy eliminated.
I just practically
Mission
annihilated the
complete.
rock.
I'm more beautiful.
Plain and
Do I
simple
look cool
because I had a level 4 EXE bar. And for the record, it would be in your best interest if you come to Don Kong Ruins to be between the 60s and 70s. Because all these monsters, if you come in here at level 50, you're going to be destroyed. Plain and simple. You could grind here if you want to, by all means. And also get all the items here. But be prepared to run, provided you have 100% escape unlock. And provided you have the actual memory to make those plans happen. Well, the plan for 100% escape. And also the plan for the item drop, too. And by the way, that brilliant flash, I just left my 2 party members behind. Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna wander off, and I'm pretty sure they're also gonna slow down the game, too. And there's one more enemy we need to find, and that's that flower over there. We might as well take down the hyena while we're here, too. We will need its actual pelt for us to get, I think, Nanase's... Well, what was the name of it?
Wait, a little bit more.
It is Nasane Volcano.
Here goes.
I had to make sure that I pronounced that correctly. Damn it! Why am I stuttering? I had to make sure I had to pronounce that correctly, otherwise I'd be messing up the words again. But that red flower that I just passed up, that was the last enemy we need to find, so we might as well take it down. Oh, obscure service. Okay, that works. Ironically enough, Vert is the only person who has a very, very long skirt that you try to look up her skirt, it's gonna be next to impossible. And yet she still chides you for it.
Here goes.
Anyway, let's just move on. Oh, and I wasn't kidding about that fact that Vert chides you for looking up her skirt. In fact, most of the characters do. I'm pretty sure there was an audio log that you had to unlock in order for it to actually have all the characters make fun of you for looking up their skirts. Save for one. But whatever the case, I think we've gotten just about all the plans unlocked. Well, almost. Let me make sure. We've got the plan for Nasane Volcano, but we can't really unlock it just yet. Not until we unlocked other events. So on that note, Keeper's got a new plan for an accessory, and that is the anti-seal patch. So yeah, let's move on. And also, we've got ourselves another patch. Oh, those patches, by the way, once you make them, they're actually items that you can equip onto your character that will prevent any of the bad stats. But once you get the, oh, that, and by the way, that was where duty space was. In case you're wondering why I forgot about those, those text boxes there. You have escape anywhere and also duty space over in that area. But as I was saying about the patches that we're getting, they're actually equipment that will stop bad stats. But once you get reduced chance of bad stats, not only will it be completely useless, but the bad stats won't even last that long. And all of these plans here are for rings that we're not really gonna need, because once you get the Goddess ring, let alone the Celestia ring, there's no reason to have a plan for these rings right here, unless you really want to try to go for elemental attack, which, by the way, unless you're CPU, you probably would want, but it wouldn't really matter anyway, because you have plans that actually protect you from magic, at least. Well, no, to make accessories that protect you from magic. And also CDs, too. So on that note, we've managed to make it into the city. Last time from the story, we were hassled by Pokemon trainers. This time, we're finally going to meet the CPU of Last Station. The funny part is, normally in the original game, we would have already met Blanc by now. In fact, we would have already had at least 5 or 6 fights with her. Just like, or at least more than that, I'm pretty sure it's more than that. Just like we had to repetitively fight Noir before actually having to move on to the next chapter. Because here's the thing, Vert easily joined your team, and unfortunately you'd had to face her multiple times in order for her to finally join your team. Oh dear lord. Let me hold that thought. I just ran into 2 other well-known well-known NPCs in the older game. Younger brother and older brother. These guys, how shall I put this? They love big titties. That's the best description I can wholeheartedly say about these 2. And unfortunately, they did not show up in Louis. Guess where they showed up in? Lean Box. And they were aiding Arfoire into poisoning Neptune and the others, despite the fact that they were infatuated with Compa's boobs. However, Louis, they're here. So, that's one of the big changes. But as I was saying, the change here, we had to fight Vert 5 times, and she was the last CPU to actually get. It wasn't really a matter of who to pick first, that's the only land available. But here, Louis is like the last place to find. So yeah, I mean, I know y'all have enough about me comparing this game to the other games, but there's a lot of crucial differences that definitely makes this game a hell of a lot easier than the original. And I bless them for doing this, because fighting the CPUs over and over and over again can be goddamn monotonous. Especially when they increase level every time you run into them. I mean, the last two fights anyway. And Neptune and IF just realized, well, they're only being nice to Compa and Vert because of those boobies. Let's be honest, folks. If a man actually be nice to a girl with an incredibly large chest, chances are, more than likely, they're staring at the incredibly large chest. And that's what this game makes fun of. In fact, the only reason why the brothers are adoring Vert, because they honestly aren't really too loyal to Blanc, and I'm pretty sure you all know why. But in the meantime, oh wait, never mind. Neptune ends up joining the whole entire fray. She transforms and she ends up becoming a G-Cup just like Vert. That's another thing I need to point out. For some reason, all the CPUs are jealous of Vert's boobs. And then later on, Vert will end up being the victim of that jealousy when she ends up directing it to Yellowheart. And that's like later on, as in 2 games from now. But when you stop and think about it, Neptune actually transforms and gains the same amount of breast size as Vert. However, when Vert transforms, she goes up a cup. I know that sounds like useless information, but it's actually something to think about, considering the fact that, well, the only way Neptune can be almost as big as Vert is if she transforms. And Neptune just left IF there. That's just heartless. Can you excuse me 1 second? I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Had to actually stop for a minute and, well, get myself something to drink. Anyway, IF is just dejected and apathetic because of the fact that everyone's ignoring her because of her breasts. You want to know who else did that? That would be Nisa. Nisa was so self-conscious about her breast, to the point where it's not even funny. Well, it is, but in a way sense, it gets worse than that. You see, in Disgaea, I think one of the Disgaea games, if for some reason you activate Nisa's Flattish Justice attack, every character that doesn't have a big boob size gets a ridiculous buff. That's how bad Nisa's self-consciousness about her breast is. Unfortunately, you'll never see Nisa in this game again because of IF and Nisa's falling out. That's probably why IF is now taking on the role of being apathetic, just like Nisa did in the original game. And even IF is calling for Thunder Tits. And Neptune just realized transforming just to try to please the brothers only made IF even more dejected. Well, to be fair, we're almost at the part where we're gonna introduce Blanc. And if anybody has a thing against being called flat-chested, or at least being made fun of because of her breast, Blanc is one of them. I mean, the poor girl, she always gets ridiculed by her breast, and it's kind of a throwback to how the Louis is smaller in size than the Sega Genesis, or should I say Sega Saturn, which is what Neptune is based off of, the Xbox 360, which is what Vert's based off of, and the PS3, which is what Noir is based off of. It's also should be noted that Noir has, okay, not Noir, Blanc, that's what I meant to say, has a bad attitude whenever somebody pisses her off. And speaking of bad attitudes, all Vert had to do was sweet talk IF, and IF's bad attitude just all of a sudden changed into a more competent IF. Just magically. I mean, after all, Vert's saying that she'll hate IF, well, let's just say that you don't want to be scorned by or dejected by your goddess. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Anyway, now we're introduced to Blanc, who just so happens to be sleeping and reading manga. Or reading books, at least. Oh, and one more thing about Blanc that I should mention. She also writes novels, too. About that. The spin-off game, Hyperdimension Neptunia Zombies vs. Neptune. God damn it, I forgot the damn title of the name. But it is basically Blanc's fanfic gone wrong when actual zombies appear. So, the whole game basically is what happens when Blanc is allowed creative control. She can't write a story to save her life. And Neptune is completely confused because we just got finished running from Blanc in the Basilicom. For those of you who aren't privy into what's going on yet, as to what's going on, Conversation stole Blanc's powers just like she did Vert. And because of that, Blanc went into hiding and set up the resistance to try to get her powers, let alone her land, back from Arfoire. Oh. And, by the way, Blanc was much more hostile when we met her in the original game. In fact, the sight of Neptune made her so pissed off, she ran off Neptune Kappa and IF. Although she's much easier to talk to here. And of course, the older brother basically made fun of her chest just now. That's why she's pissed off. And it's not hard to put two and two together because Conversation not only stole Vert's powers before she went to Louis, she stole Blanc's powers after she went to Louis and was on her way back to Last Station. Yeah, that's right, she was on her way back to Last Station to try to steal Noir's powers too, and for the most part help Avenir with their projects. And yes, Avenir is involved too, because remember in several parts ago, Ganache was acting like he was an innocent victim, and he pretty much spread the rumor that Neptune was a Nomus member. So, Blanc just recognized Neptune because of the fact that, well, she's pretty much hostile and thinking about the console wars. Well, again, she's less hostile here than what she was in Louis. Louis, she was flat out miserable because Conversation was sabotaging her in the background. And actually, Conversation was, at the time, the voice of reason, trying to keep Blanc from snapping on people, believe it or not, in the first game. Unfortunately, that role goes to Financier. And somewhere along the line, I know somebody's telling me, "Shut the hell up, dude! Oh god, let us enjoy this with silence!" I'm letting y'all in on why there's huge differences here. And as I told you, not only did they remake the story, it just made the game, how should I put it, a lot different and a lot more easier to catch on to than what it was in the PS3. Meanwhile, there's another Ronron here. One is bad enough. Why are they multiplying? So, with that said, it seems like the Basilicom is attacking the city. I.e., Arfoire is leading Louis' troops to attack their own CPU. And to make things even worse, she's actually attacking Louis' CPU with not just a device. Unfortunately, it's another goddamn Killachine. We haven't come to that point yet, but fake Blanc is right there, and real Blanc is standing there too. And who the hell is she calling a... Oh god, it's another Killachine, isn't it? I just said it was a Killachine, but let's be honest, folks. It's bad enough Killachine is powerful as it is the first time. Well, they get a stronger, they do get a stronger, palette swap, unfortunately. And oh yeah, Blanc tends to explode in a cussing fit every time she's angered, as you can wholeheartedly see by her scary face there. For the record, that scary face she's making, I'm pretty sure that happens to be... I'm trying to think of what game that was, where she makes that same expression. I'm trying to think of what game it was. Damn it, it was a Nintendo game where a character made that exact same expression that Blanc did. I'm trying to remember where it was. But, enough about that. Blanc is pissed off and she's transformed despite losing her powers, which begs the question, if she lost her powers to Conversation, how come Vert couldn't do that last part? Or should I say, in part 20? That is a real interesting question. Because Blanc got her power stolen. And so did Vert. Vert had to face off against Conversation without her CPU form. Yet, we're about to face a Killachine. And Blanc, who's now added into the party and is going to be forced into this battle, is in CPU form. What the hell, game? That's really inconsistent. Well, we might as well just put Blanc in the party. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Oh right, I forgot. I need to equip her strongest weapon, but unfortunately I didn't think about it. Also, I need to fix up her combos as well. And fix up Neptune's combos too. Just in case I have to actually fight as Blanc, I would rather fix up her combos. It would really help. Oh, what do you know? She actually does have thunder. Oops, I thought she didn't. Well, forget everything I said earlier. Stupid me. But, nonetheless, we're ready, we're set, let's go fight that Killachine. And for the record, elemental attacks actually does well. And you're actually starting this without any EXE drive. So you're gonna have to manually get it just like with the original Killachine fight. Hooray!
I'll around till I'm satisfied.
This is absolute bullshit. But you have to be at least at level 55 just to actually stand a chance against Killachine. And I might as well just use an agility booster for everybody.
I should use this.
That way we could actually get some more turns in.
Finally.
I'm not switching. That would be stupid if I did. So I'll just use a strength booster. And there we go.
What will happen if I
Are
use
you ready?
This?
And now to start lowering his stats, I suppose. Or we could just start building up to an EXE grind. Might as well, because let's face it, he's not going to heal.
Are you
He
ready?
is, however, going to lower your attacks and also try to paralyze you too. Yeah, this Killachine will. So
What
bear that
shall
in
I
mind
do
when you're
to
trying to
you?
fight it. Let's see. We're gonna drop its stats
time
using
for
verbal
your
abuse.
To enjoy this, you need to be a master.
Unfortunately, this will not last long.
I'll finish
Yeah, I
this.
know we're at a high level, but still, it's all for the purpose of 100%. Because you can't really get everything on the first going. You don't have enough data to do it. That's the only reason why I'm going on a New Game Plus.
Good. I will not
So
let
anyway,
you have it your way.
just keep smacking around Killachine. If he does do any damage to you, heal. But if you actually have protection from physical damage put into your disc via idea chips,
Fine.
you're going to basically... Well, by the way, the idea chips, which is what I happen to have last part, to show you how to make disc. If you happen to have anything that raises your defense and protection from machines, Killachine will not do a thing to you. Its first nor its second battle, let alone its third battle or fourth battle. Because yeah, you fight this thing 4 times. Rule of 4, ladies and gentlemen. However, I don't think there's anything that'll raise your strength.
Taking this
It's all about
serious.
raising defense, basically.
Enemy
And since we
eliminated.
chopped up
Mission
this
complete.
Killachine, we got ourselves a large medal. And, well, looks like Louis is safe for now. And unfortunately, a last station weapon just so happens to be brought into the fray. Again, people are slowly but surely starting to realize that last station has a hand in this. We'll eventually have to deal with them and get rid of Avenir. Eventually. But for now, we still have non-talking cutscenes, which is basically the whole part. Christ almighty. Oh yeah. And Neptune is basically informing Blanc about the key fragment. Once again, let me inform all of you that you probably didn't get it from last station the first time, but you will get it from Louis and Leanbox. Which means Noir just seriously has issues with personality traits. That's all. Nothing much. And, of course, Blanc just realized, oh crap, it really is an enemy sabotaging her from the background. So, with that said, they all call a truce so we can actually take care of Arfoire. And here's something that kind of shocks me. The fact that Verse said they were born to detest each and every one of themselves. In case you probably didn't hear it in part 1, it was Arfoire who suggested that Neptune be knocked out of the console wars first. And of course, kept the fighting going. So I gotta say, despite the fact she constantly gets her butt kicked, Arfoire actually thought this through. And also, despite being caught by some of the random moments with Neptune, which makes her a laughingstock, Arfoire actually is a more effective villain. Even though she comes back in multiple games, like Sigma. I'm gonna keep making that comparison. Might as well also mention Dr. Wily in that category too. After all, he made the trope. So, with that said, Blanc is actually breaking down into tears earlier than expected. And we didn't even actually lay one finger on her. Thank God we didn't have to fight Blanc over and over again. I really hated that in the PS3 version. Just saying. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue on in Louis in the next part. This is RVMan985. This is a long part, I know, but we'll probably be done with Chapter 4 by Part 24. See you guys in Part 23.